Welcome back to Dinar Current. Will the revaluation of the Iraqi dinar shake the US dollar? If Iraq decides to significantly increase the value of its currency, what would that mean for the most powerful fiat in the world? In this video, we're diving deep into the global currency game. We'll explore the economics, the rumors, the consequences, and the truth behind what could happen to the US dollar if the dinar revalues. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap that bell. Let's get into it. First, let's clarify. What does it actually mean when we say the Iraqi dinar could revalue, possibly even dramatically? If Iraq stabilizes its economy, leverages its oil wealth, and strengthens its monetary system, usually increasing its value in comparison to a major benchmark like the US dollar. Currency revaluation is when a country's central bank adjusts the official exchange rate of its national currency. In the case of Iraq, some investors believe that which currently trades at around 1,300 IQD to one United States dollar. There is no official announcement confirming such a drastic RV, but it hasn't stopped people from preparing, just in case. Revaluation equals government-backed currency, value increase. Many investors base their dinar RV hopes on Iraq's growing oil revenues, foreign currency reserves, and strategic partnerships with the IMF and World Bank. Dollar dominance to 60% of reserves, 88% of forex volume. They point to Iraq's 2025 economic reform plan, rising oil exports, and central bank modernization as signs that Iraq may repeg the dinar to a level possibly even to 1 dinar equals 1 USD or more. Over 60% of all global foreign exchange reserves are held in dollars. Even if the dinar doubled or tripled in value, the overall size of Iraq's currency market is nowhere near large enough to threaten the dollar's global status. It's used in nearly 90% of all forex transactions. It would likely continue its dominance with little more than a shrug. It dominates global trade, oil pricing, and international debt. However, this theory is debated and largely speculative. Oil export numbers, CBI reserve data, IMF statements. Iraq's oil industry still relies heavily on U.S. alliances, companies, and contracts. Moving away from the dollar would risk economic instability and global resistance. To understand the potential impact, we need to look at the role of the US dollar globally. The US dollar is the world's primary reserve currency. It would challenge the petrodollar system, a core reason for the dollar's strength. So, would a dinar revaluation shake the US dollar? Let's look at the possibilities. But that would take years of coordinated geopolitical change, not a single RV event. However, cashing out those gains might not be as easy as expected. But the US dollar remains too powerful, too integrated, and too widely used to be disrupted by a single currency revaluation. At least for now, there may be tax implications, limited liquidity, and delays in currency conversion. In the first and most likely scenario, the dinar revalues, but the dollar is barely affected. Subscribe for weekly updates on the Iraqi dinar, Middle East finance, and global currency news. Why? Because Iraq's economy is relatively small on a global scale. Will it shake the US dollar? I want to hear your thoughts. In fact, many revaluation scenarios would still use the dollar as a trading intermediary, especially for oil exports. So, if the dinar revalues, it might boost Iraq's economy and reward early investors. But the US dollar, on-screen text, dinar RV equals minor blip for USD. Now, let's talk about a more dramatic possibility. What if Iraq revalues the dinar and begins pricing oil in dinar instead of dollars? This could create a ripple effect, especially if other countries followed suit. However, this is highly speculative. Still, if Iraq and other oil-rich nations collectively abandon then yes, the US dollar could face serious competition. Let's get practical. If the dinar revalues, how will it affect the average American? For the everyday person, not much. For investors holding Iraqi dinar, a revaluation could mean huge gains. Depending on the scale, if enough people rush to exchange at once, U.S. banks may not even support large-scale dinar cash-outs unless Iraq formally joins international forex platforms. Always consult a tax advisor before exchanging foreign currency profits. To summarize, a dinar revaluation might bring major changes for Iraq and exciting returns for investors. But in a world where financial systems are evolving and power is shifting, anything is possible. Stay informed, stay smart. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button and share this video with fellow investors. Comment below. Do you think the dinar will revalue in 2025? Until next time, stay sharp, stay ready, and keep watching.